Hi everyone, welcome back. This week it is the final time that we're going to talk about motorhomes in this sort of detail anyway. We finally got it. We've picked up our motorhome. It's absolutely filthy because of the drive back. It was 3 hours, but we are pleased. Things are okay. Few little niggles, few little moans about things, but to be honest, nothing to really worry about. I think everyone's going to be in for a real shock, so go easy on us. But yeah, so firstly, just want to say a big shout out to Carl, who has purchased the first set of round acacia laser engraved coasters for his Adria. I've got them here on the side. They're just going to be sent out today, so thanks for that, Carl. If anyone else wants anything sort of engraved or personalised with their motorhome logos, give us a shout. Take a look on our shop. There'll be a link on the screen. See what there is, but we can do anything, customised motorhome stuff really. So before we go out and take a look at the motorhome, some people have recommended, some other content creators, for us to set up a few accounts. One of them is buy us a coffee, so I'm going to put a QR code on the screen. You can buy us a coffee, that'll come up here. The other one is PayPal, so the PayPal link will be in our description, along with our shop, our Etsy shop, all that sort of stuff. But take a look in our YouTube shop. When you go on there, there's only a few items, but if you click the little dots to view the whole shop, then you can see the hoodies, the accessories, homewares, all that sort of stuff. And all the personalised stuff will also be on there eventually. It's going up bit by bit, so take a look. It's all reasonably priced. We've checked the stuff out ourselves. The quality is good. So if you're looking for something for Christmas or a gift for someone, then get on there and take a look. Without any further ado, let's go out and take a look at the motorhome. So if you're ready for the big reveal, then here we go. Yes, I know, it's another Bailey, and I know we're going to get some stick for this. We said we'd never go Bailey again, but you know what, I'm not going to go into massive details, but basically it was one of the only solutions that we could see, to be honest. We know the van, we know the quirks, we like the width. This one's a different layout. The other one was a 754DL. This is the 754i. So it's the island bed model. It's slightly different. There's a few differences, and we've got a few additions. We've been down this morning to the guys at Solar Solutions to get a new kit installed and set up. This one's going to be a bit better. It's going to have a multi-plus inverter, so you haven't got to flip a switch to turn the inverter on or anything. It's fully automatic. When you plug in the hookup cable, that's fully automatic as well. So literally we can just switch it on and just leave it. So obviously it is on the Ford Transit chassis. I'm not going to go over everything with the Ford Transit chassis. We've been there, we've done that. The only thing different is we're going to keep an eye on the oil, and we're going to, when the engine's cold, you've got to start it, let it run for a couple of minutes first before you drive off, just to warm the gearbox up and try and protect some of those plastic parts. But yeah, let's get inside and have a look. So the first thing you notice, people that are unfamiliar with these particular models, is there's a telescopic electric table built into the lounge on these models, which is something that we didn't really want because it takes up quite a bit of space. But it is important because that becomes the bed in the front lounge. The only niggle we had is someone had took the brackets out to support the bed base when the table's down and not put them back in, but the guys at Spinney, Mark and Craig specifically, thanks guys, they sent us out the brackets. Next day delivery, we've received them. Everything seems okay. We're just waiting now from Bailey to get an email to show us exactly how to make the bed up, because we've been there, we've used the cushions on this side, we've used the cushions on this side. We can't figure out how to do it, and online all of the stuff that we've seen relates to different models, so we're having a bit of difficulty setting the bed up. But you know, if worse comes to it, I'll just buy a piece of foam that just fits in there. I'm not too fussed about that. It's a small issue really. The main thing is the build quality, and everything seems to be okay. It must have been built on a Monday, that's all I can say, because everything seems okay. You know, there's a few wobbly bits and stuff, but as people have pointed out before, these are lightweight motorhomes. They're designed to be lightweight, so the parts are going to be lightweight, hence they're not going to be absolutely solid. But by far it's nowhere near the last one. We had a look at a few different motorhomes, different brands, and in all honesty, none of them are built particularly well these days, especially the ones that are 3.5 ton and below. So it's just something you've got to deal with. But other than that, everything seems okay. We've got the Bailey whistle, but we'll sort that out. That's not really an issue. But other than that, brand new van, you know, no miles other than driving it home. Engine's quiet, gearbox is smooth. Massive contrast between our last one and this one, to be honest. It's not until you get into another one that you really realise there were problems with the last one. We fitted the microwave kit. I did that myself. I don't know why I didn't film it. I really should have filmed it, because it was a lot simpler than I thought it was, or it was a lot simpler than I made it look, because that was a right old bit of fun. But yeah, it's done. Everything seems to be okay. So anyone that hasn't had one of these or has seen one of these, you've got this large telescopic table, which you fold this piece over and then you slide this piece in. Then there's a lever here that you pull up, and then the table shifts and moves around pretty much anywhere you want it. And then up on the control panel here, you've got a switch, and when you press that switch, after you've turned the master on, you press that switch and then the table goes down. You can use it as a coffee table. I can't imagine us doing that. It's a bit awkward, but it does make the bed base at the bottom, which is convenient because we have got the bedroom at the back, but in all honesty, the bed is not really big enough for the both of us. Certainly not big enough for me anyway. But yeah, everything else is pretty much the same. You've got the Ford cab, the big touch screen with the Android Auto, rotary gearbox, paddle shift, digital display, all the blinds, the Remy blinds in the front. One of the main differences actually is because we haven't got this drop down bed up here anymore, we've actually got some cabinets, which is good, because once you've fitted the microwave kit, you lose the biggest cupboard you've got really. So we've got two big cupboards up at the front, and then the kitchen is obviously on the driver's side. You've got your extending platform on the side, a bit of worktop that comes up, small drawer in here. You've got a cupboard under here. We didn't have a cupboard under there before, so we were really excited, and then we opened it and we realised, oh yeah, it's a very shallow cupboard because the gas bottles are behind there. So yeah, and the cooker and the door, nice and solid, no problems there. Worktop, hobs, all that sort of stuff. You've got the compressor fridge on the passenger side this time. This actually comes with an extending TV bracket on this one, so you press a little lever somewhere behind there, he says. Ooh, there you go, you press a little lever, that comes out. Oh, I've got my fire stick stuck underneath it. And then you can rotate it. You can actually make it face the back. You can make it face the front. There's a little pin underneath here. If you pull that down, then you can put it out. But to be honest, we probably won't use it that much. I mainly just put our old TV up just so it doesn't look horrible, because just looking at a TV bracket is not very great. There's a little shelf up at the top, which is quite useful for the dog stuff. Door and everything's the same. It's nice to have a handle actually to get in and out. These ones again have got these flip up seats fitted, but we'll be taking the passenger side one out because that's where we'll have the solar system and everything fitted. Your control panels up here. There's a couple of USBs, which is slightly different. I assume they fitted that because on the other model that we had, the DL, where you had the drop down beds, you had a couple of these sort of reading lights which had USBs on them, so you haven't got those now. So you've just got two USBs at the front, two here, and then in the bedroom there's two at the back, but we'll go into that in a minute. Heating controls, lights, plugs, that sort of stuff's all over there. And then the bathroom. So obviously you've got a bit of a step up, which takes some time to get used to. Fallen off the step a few times when I was walking backwards. And then you've got the bathroom. So you've got a decent sized shower. One of the real problems with the other one actually was the space in the shower. This one doesn't have one of those horrible annoying curtains. It's actually got a folding screen which ties back, which is great. There is the wheel arch behind there, but to be honest, you can stand in the shower tray with 1 foot, and then as you're moving around you can just put a foot up there just to sort of rest it and keep it out of the way. But I've been in there and I do fit, and if I fit then most people fit, which brings me on to something quite funny actually. You've probably noticed that in the last few videos we've had sponsors, which is really great because it helps fund the channel and keep us doing what we're doing and going on travels, and helps pay for things. But one thing that really annoys me about content creators is when they do a review of something which is very obviously a load of crap, but they'll tell you it's amazing because they're getting paid for it. And we've had a few people, well, more than a few actually. Surprisingly, we were quite pleased. We've had a few emails from companies that want to sponsor our videos, but it's not stuff that we would buy, and it's not stuff that I would endorse, to be honest. One of them was clothing for cyclists. I mean, do I look like I go cycling? I mean, it could have been quite funny, but I don't really fancy making a video dressed in Lycra. So yeah, that's one thing you can rely on. If we do have a sponsor and we do anything in our videos, it will be something we would actually use. It would be useful for motorhomers and campers, and will be of decent quality. I'm not going to advertise anything that's crap. Anyway, that out of the way. So you've got the shower on this side, then you've got the bedroom, then you've got this door. They've got these magnetic locks, which is quite clever. So basically you open that door and close that round there, he says. We've got a few bits in there. We've got the rubbish bin, toilet, sink. It's a bit dark. There we go, that's a bit better. And there's a light there, a nice big cabinet there as well. Loads of space. One good little tip, we've got these dog training pads, you know, for if you've got puppies that wee on the floor to try and train them. They're absolutely useless and you should never use them to train your puppy. But we just lay one sheet down in the doorway, so when we've been out and we've got wet feet, you just get in and stand on that and it just soaks it straight up. It's quite a good little tip, to be honest, and they're pretty inexpensive as well actually, so stops you from getting water and mud in the van, especially if you've got a dog and the dog comes in as well. So yeah, so there's another little cupboard down there, some shelves. The toilet is on like a little bit of a platform, but it's all right, it's not too bad. The fact that it's higher up makes it slightly easier for men. You know exactly what I mean. Haven't tried sitting on it yet, so that'll be interesting, but anything I sit on needs to be built quite well, obviously. And then you've got a sliding door to the bedroom, so you just take the little popper off there, pull this across, and it comes across and closes. So the bathroom and the shower is completely closed off, a little bit like an ensuite really for anyone that's in the bedroom. You do get kind of stuck, there's not loads of room, but you know, it means between Mandy and me there's two doors, because I'll sleep in the lounge bed and she'll sleep in this bed unless we're sort of sat up during the day watching TV or something. So she's got protection from my snoring, which is very important. And then finally the bedroom. It's smaller than it ever looks, obviously, when they film these sort of things, you know, when you go on the manufacturer's website, they use fisheye lenses and make everything look big. But it's all right, it's not too bad. The idea of the bed is that you've got a day mode and a night mode. I'm sure you've seen them. The top where the pillows is, it flips over and then you can push the bed back. It's on a frame that slides. But to be honest, it's absolutely a pain in the ass. You've either got plenty of room to walk around and get to the wardrobes, but if you decide to lay on there, your entire legs almost hang over. I mean, I'm only about 5'10", Mandy's only about 5'4", 5'5", and her feet hang over, even when it's in the extended position. I mean, it's not ideal, but we're going to try and make it work. As you can see, she's covered it in fluffy things and padded things, and she's going to give it a go. We're going to see. We may change the mattress. We may even change the frame and make our own design on there, but we don't want to do anything yet because it might be okay. It might work. You've got space on this side for a TV, and up in there you've got a couple of sockets, aerial socket and a 12-volt socket. Then you've got some little cubby holes in the bottoms of the wardrobes there where you can put your phone, but you do get quite a cold draft coming through there from the garage, so I think we're going to block those up actually. And then a couple of reading lights, and they've got the USBs on them as well. Skylight in the back. We didn't have a skylight before because, as you remember, we had the DL, so we had the drop down bed. So now we've got a skylight. It does close up, but it's not a blackout. We're going to get a couple of little blackout blinds, one to go on there, one to go in the bathroom, because obviously the bathroom doesn't have a blind at all. It's only got a net. So at night time, if you're parked somewhere with lights, it is a bit light. But the width is great. I mean, the bed is super wide. It's just the length that's the problem. I better tidy this up, and because I'll get in trouble coming in here making a mess. So that's the inside. We've pretty much filled it up with a majority of the stuff that we need. I know I mentioned before we were going to go on a trip last weekend, and we did go on a trip last weekend, but when we arrived there we realised we didn't have anything to make up the bed. So we had a bit of an uncomfortable night sharing the bed, legs hanging over the sides because it's a curved mattress. So we decided to come home so we could sort the bed out. So I filmed a bit of it, but I didn't bother making a whole video about it because, to be honest, we wouldn't have given justice to the site, and it was a nice site. So we'll go back, and when we go back, we'll make another video. And obviously any sort of recommendations or any places you've been, we'd love to try some new places for sure. We're definitely going to be going to the Canaries. We're looking at early January. I said Christmas before, that was a slip of the tongue, because we are going to get Christmas out of the way first, but as soon as New Year's done, then we're going to be off. I think what we're actually going to do is we're going to book our train over to France, the Eurotunnel or the Eurostar or whatever it's called. We're going to get that booked, get over there, and then unlike last time where we had a deadline to get the ferry over to Lanzarote, we're not going to book that until we're actually in France or Spain. This time of year or that time of year, it's not too much of an issue. There's plenty of availability, plenty of cabins, even with dogs. So we're going to get and do that once we're over there, and then we can take a little bit more of a leisurely trip down there, stay at a few sites, see some of the places, because we were in such a rush. We really missed out on some of the places, some of the sites. We saw a few on the way back, but I think take our time to get down there, take our time to come back, and then we can kind of stay as long as we want in the Canaries, see a few of the islands, and then make our way back. But as I said, it's quite quiet on the ferries this time of year, so we're not too panicked about that. So they fitted a Fiamma awning to this one for us, which we haven't had an awning on a new motorhome for. We've had awnings before, but not on a new motorhome, so that would be good to try out. And as I mentioned in one of the other videos, we were thinking about getting some of those sort of curtains or the enclosures that attach to the awning. So I haven't spoke to anyone that's got one or had one. And they're not the cheapest things in the world, so I think I'll do a bit more research before we buy one and decide if we're actually going to use it, in all honesty, because, you know, when you're wild camping abroad, you're not supposed to have anything out that makes it look like you're camping. You're not camping, you're sleeping overnight in your vehicle, and that's it. So yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting anyway. So we'll go and take a look at the garage. I mean, everything else is pretty much the same as the van before. It's typical of Damo. You know, the gas locker, the toilet cassette, it's all your usual standard stuff. But the thing that we were most impressed with was the garage. So I'll go and show you the garage. So the first thing you notice with these is the size of the door. It doesn't really show up on camera, but the garage door is huge. You could definitely get some bikes in here, there's no doubt about it. It's all carpeted. Excuse the mess. We've put stuff in, but we haven't really sorted it out. But you can see how much space we've got, and this is pretty much all of our kit. So it's quite impressive. It's all carpeted all the way through. Down here you can see we've got a 12-volt socket, we've got a 3-pin plug socket, you've got a heater vent here. There is some tie downs, there's 4 tie downs altogether, and a vent, and then you've got some hooks up here, so if you've got any wet gear you can just hang it up. Yeah, not too bad, quite impressed. Loads of space, obviously the bed's above it, so there's loads and loads of room. So there we go, that's it for this week. It's just a short video really, just about the van. I know a lot of people were waiting to hear, and I know a lot of people are going to go, why did you go for another Bailey? But we do have our reasons, and also because the van was over 6 months old, the old one, you don't have as many rights as you would if it was under 6 months or under 30 days. So we kind of had to weigh up, you know, how much we'd get back if we rejected it, given the mileage and the use it's had, compared to the price of a new van and stuff like that. But the guys at Spinney were great. You know, they always are. I never have a problem with them. Our issue has always been with Bailey. The guys at Spinney have never been an issue really. But it's not just Bailey. We've looked at other motorhomes, as I said, and none of them have been built particularly to what I would call a good standard. Things are missing, screws are missing, things are wobbly, things don't line up. I think it's just the industry. If you're not going to be satisfied with any of that stuff, then just don't buy a motorhome. We were close to just giving up on motorhoming altogether, but we love it. We love the lifestyle. We love the travel. We love traveling together. We love traveling with the dog, you know, so it's like a bug, isn't it? You know, it's like when you go on holiday and when you're on your way back from the holiday, you're already looking online and booking your next holiday. You just get into that mood. And it's the same with motorhoming and camping for sure. So I'm going to leave that there for this week. Next week, we will have been somewhere. So, you know, mark a date in your calendar. Mandy will be in the video. We will have actually travelled somewhere. But yeah, that's it for this week. Just a little update, let people know what they're going on about. I expect hundreds of comments now telling us we're absolute idiots for getting another Bailey, and we probably are. But in all honesty, there comes a point where you just can't be asked anymore. And touch wood, there's some wood. So far so good. So we'll see. I'm quite handy. I can fix things. I certainly won't be doing a 3-hour each way trip to get little things sorted out. So watch this space anyway. And thanks very much. Check out all the links. Check out everything in the bio. Like, comment, subscribe. That's the one. Nearly lost track of my mind. And we'll see you soon.